Hello! So, you probably noticed I have a PNG tuber avatar now. Get used to seeing it because I'm going to be using it a lot more. But hello! Today I want to talk about a game that was a surprise drop today or yesterday as of recording this right now. Fire Emblem Shadows. No one was expecting this game really at all. There was no hints at it. No one leaked it. There was nothing. And that is so fascinating to me because we didn't get any Fire Emblem news other than Fortune's Weave recently. So this is definitely something no one was expecting. Now, Fire Emblem Shadows is a very fascinating game that is a combination of and I'm putting this in quotes, you can't see it, but like a social deduction game crossed with real time strategy RPGs. And so the Fire Emblem tag with this game, I want to say take that with a grain of salt. A lot of the things in this game does call back to Fire Emblem quite a bit, like, it has the standard like sword, lance, axes, bows, magic, like stones and breaths and stuff like that. It has like kind of I don't even want to call it a weapon triangle anymore. It's more like the color triangle. But even then, sort of. It doesn't really have any classes, which is a fascinating thing, but that's kind of okay. That also has like, specific unit types like cavalry, armored, infantry, flying, dragon. Something you'll notice is that every single character in this game is part animal in some way. They have animal attributes. It really reminds me of Lagoos, where like Lagoos have animal attributes to them. And the thing is, they have a light side and a shadow side, and I'll get to that a little bit later. But this game is, again, like a social deduction game similar to Werewolf or Mafia, or people have been calling it Fire Emblem Among Us, which isn't too far off. And yeah, but it combines with real-time strategy, unlike Fire Emblem proper, where that's more of a turn-based strategy game. This is real-time, so the skills or the magics that you use in this game activate when you want to activate them, and they have a cooldown. And the thing is, if you are the shadow, then some of your skills will take a bit to activate. It'll take I believe 2 to 3 seconds to activate. So it's a really fascinating combination of things, and I don't think anyone was expecting this. No one really asked for this, but I think it's just a fascinating concept. And if you're hoping to see any familiar faces in this game, well, most of the characters in this game so far are original characters for this game and the story. However, there are 2 characters from the franchise that are in the game. We have Dimitri from Three Houses and Lyn from Blazing Sword. Now, you might look at both of them and be like, wow, they have some animal attributes to them. And that is because everyone's shadow is practically a persona. And I'm not saying that lightly. I am saying that legitimately, every shadow of every character is some sort of more bestial, furry form. So if you look at Dimitri and you're like, wow, why does he have lion ears? Is because his shadow form is a lion. And then Lyn, she has more of like a centaur kind of form. People have been calling her Umu Musume Lyn. I believe Umu Musume is that horse racing game that's been really popular recently. So yeah, that only makes me think about what characters could they bring into this game from the franchise, and what would their personas be. And I don't know if I want that answered for every character, but I would be fascinated. Now, the gameplay of this game is that you bring in a character into battle, and you only bring in one character, and I believe they call them disciples. And you only bring in one disciple, and in the footage you'll see, which by the way, sorry if it's not the best quality, my phone did not want to capture horizontally, so I had to scale the video up. So the character that you guys will see me use throughout the gameplay of this video, it's Gotthold. And he's the disciple, he is kind of, if you want to think of Fire Emblem archetypes, he's like the Jagan of this game. But the Fire Emblem stuff only kind of goes so far. This game isn't exactly like Fire Emblem. First off, it's a real-time strategy game. You only bring in one character in battle, and you go into battle with 2 other people. So there's only 3 characters total. Of the 3 characters, one of them is a shadow. It could be you. It could be anyone. You could set it that you could be either or you want to be on the light side or the shadow side. It really just depends. It doesn't matter too much. But one of the three characters that you queue into a battle with will be a shadow. There's two phases in battles. There's the sun phase, which is like you battle it out, and if you are the shadow, you're trying to be relatively discreet. If you are the shadow, you're trying to be relatively discreet, so like people don't know that you're the shadow. So you want to still like take down enemies, but also damage like your quote teammates. But you just don't want to make it obvious that you're the shadow, which is kind of hard sometimes. Now, and if you're a disciple of light, you're just trying to take down the enemies. After the first phase, after the sun phase, there's the moon phase. In between, there's the voting phase, though. So in the voting phase, you vote on who you think the shadow is. If you guess correctly, you get extra life. If you don't guess correctly, you get revived if you get downed, and you get like 1 life back. But if you do guess correctly, then you get 2 lives technically. So you can kind of come back if you were to go down. And if you're the shadow, then the second phase is just you trying to destroy the people who you are fighting with. And if you're Disciple Light, you're taking down the shadow and all the minions on the shadow's map. And yeah, that's pretty much the general gameplay of the game. And I'm not going to lie, while this isn't like proper Fire Emblem, it is relatively fun. I think it is kind of fun. And I think it's fun because the battles go by relatively quick. Some battles I've had can take a while, but for the most part, some battles are pretty fast. Like maybe like 2 to 3 minutes tops, which is good because you don't want a mobile game to be lasting forever. I will say the art of this game is actually pretty nice, I must say. It's at least relatively uniform. Characters look like they exist in this world correctly. There is a story mode. Well, story mode is stretching it. There is a story. There's like maybe like 1 or 2 battles in the story that you do. But other than that, it's just reading through like people's dialogue. But there's a story. But it's kind of, as of right now, it's kind of like your standard Fire Emblem story, where it's like Kurt, who is the main character, who is the one on the screen right now, who has the tail, holding the sword. Kurt is the prince of a kingdom that is being overrun, and he wants to get it back. However, there's a traitor amongst the group, and no one's safe. And that's kind of like the premise of the story. And premise of like why the shadows exist in the story. There's a light story and then the shadow story. The shadow story is, the stories go in tandem with each other. Now your characters can equip different weapons and like attach some skills to those weapons. They can also equip different magics. Now every character has their own like individual personal skill / magic that only they have and that cannot be given to anyone else. So for example, the character that you are seeing, Gotthold, his personal kind of skill thing is called cross shield, which means that characters in like a cross formation are able to take less damage from weapon attacks, which is honestly not that good. And I'll say not all skills, like personal magics or whatever, are created equally. Some are way better than others, and some are kind of lame. Not gonna lie. Yeah, but you can kind of like customize and adjust. The thing is like I wish there was a little bit of quality of life thing where you can kind of port in like one skill set into like the shadow set, because you need to do both. And so your shadow like magic set might be different from like your light one. It'd just be nice if you could kind of port one over to the other. I know why you can't 100%, but like still it'd be nice. Just general, like even equipping your weapon, you need to like port over. You have to like equip specifically. You have to equip to your light version and then equip to your shadow version. I wish it would just equip to both, or I get why, but I don't know. It'd just be nice. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, you get disciples throughout the game. It's not really a gacha game, which is interesting to me. You get characters just like by playing through the game, by getting through the story. Although I'm pretty sure any special character that comes out, like currently right now on the battle pass or the season pass, it's Lynn. And I'm sure there's going to be more characters like that in the future. That's just how mobile games kind of operate nowadays. But it's not pay to win. From what I'm noticing, it is not pay to win, which is good, which is nice. And yeah, the game is relatively bare bones. Other than that, there's the bazaar where you can buy weapons and like skills stuff, but that's about it. All you do is just battle. And yeah, so the game's relatively bare bones. There's not a whole lot to do. I do hope in the future that they maybe have a mode where there's more than just 3 people, like in proper like mafia. I don't know, but that could be chaotic and balancing whatever. But yeah, I don't know. This game's really interesting. I don't think anyone really asked for it, and yet it's here. So I'd actually be kind of curious about like where it goes and what we might see in the future with it. It'll be interesting if it lasts, because like I don't know, most Nintendo mobile games don't really last very long, unfortunately, unless it's Fire Emblem Heroes or Pokemon Go. Yeah, it doesn't really last long, so we'll see how long this game lasts. I'd be honestly really curious about the longevity of this game. We'll see how it does. And we'll see if we get these characters in Fire Emblem Heroes, because I'm sure we will eventually. But yeah, other than that, I just kind of want to talk about this game real quick. I do have some other videos kind of in the works. I have a Marvel Rivals one that I've been wanting to do for a little bit now. I just need to record it. And then I do have an Expedition 33 video that I just am dreading with editing. I hate editing so much. So that's kind of where I am at right now. I know it's been a hot minute, but yeah, I just kind of want to talk about this game that was just such a surprise. Like no one was expecting this game to show up, and yet here it is. But anyway, let me know if you've played the game, characters that you currently like playing in the game, if you are playing, or characters you would like to see in the game. I am an Ike boy through and through. I would love to see Ike, though I would fear about what Ike's persona would be, as well as most other characters. Listen, nothing against furries at all. I have friends that are furries. I'm just very amused at the fact that like, man, this game is just like sussy, like sus furries, but Fire Emblem. Anyway, I'll just leave you guys with that. Have a good one.